what you've got here is task 1 and task 2 sitting in front of you. Task 1 is complete an 8-week training program. You've done that, okay? So you don't need to worry too much about that. Task 2 is your records of participation in your training logs, okay? And your weekly summary evaluations. So you guys have been doing that all the way along. You should have a minimum of 16 to a week, and you should have them all done by the holidays. That's part of your evidence. That's the first part of your evidence. You need to keep up to date on those. Hopefully you've done at least 8 already, okay? At least 8, and you should have the other 8 done by the end of the holidays, okay? Then you are to do what we call a P&I, which is task 3A. Task 3A. What's a P&I? A P&I, as I said, is you're looking at each individual week of your training, from week 1 through to week 8, and you're looking at the positives, the negatives, and the interesting points that happen to you along the way. And this is the second part of your evidence. If you don't do this well, 1 for each week, you're going to struggle to get those top end marks, because you need to back it up with evidence. Evidence comes in the forms of things like how you felt after training sessions. It comes in the forms of things like physical measures like your heart rates. It comes in the form of increased times. It comes in the form of increased test results like VO2 max or decreased, alright? So all of those things are evidence. That's what we're looking for evidence, okay? Now, if you turn over the page, right, that's part A. And I would expect part A, you don't have to have done it by the end of the holidays, but if you want to get a jump on term 2, it would be a good thing to have at least half of those done before you get back. I'm not going to check that, and I know half of you will probably just flip that and not do it, but if you want to be ahead, or at least on par, you need to get this done. Yes?
So we just do positives, negatives, interesting things on each session plan.
Yep, no, so what you're doing
So we do like 4.
is a good question. The question was, you do P&I for each lesson plan. You should have already thought about that by doing your lesson evaluation, or your session evaluation. Then you look at it, say if you did 3-4 sessions in a week, you then look at that and you do 1 for the whole week. Does that make sense?
Overall.
Yep. Okay, if you want an example of a P&I, it's on SHCNet. Go to level 3, go to 3.2, and it's sitting there ready to go for you. There's what is a P&I and examples of P&Is from the past. And the only other thing is do it in bullet points. You don't have to do your P&Is in full paragraphs. Just bullet point the positives, bullet point the negatives, bullet point the interesting points. Question?
So if I've got 6 training sessions in a week and my first 8 are done that I gave you, and then in my first 2 or 3 weeks.
And okay, what I want is I want evidence across the 8 weeks. Does that make sense?
So, but if I haven't got one during that week, can I have one for end of week 1, just at the end of the week, or do I have to have one for each of my training sessions?
What I would suggest is you should have 2 at least session evaluations per the 8 weeks. 2 for each week. Does that make sense? I'm not understanding your question. Can you revoice?
So like, if I've done 8 already in my first couple of weeks and I don't do anything till the last couple of weeks,
yeah,
is it alright if I just do 1 for each week in between?
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Yep. Okay, let's stop there.